So we're onto this topic of promiscuous virgin. And I think this topic came about because of a video that went viral a few weeks ago, where a young woman was speaking about being promiscuous in her past, but also then bestowing the honor of being a virgin on her soon-to-be husband. So I think it's quite an interesting conversation about what is considered as sex. Mm-hmm. Because from my perspective, if you can engage in oral sex, I don't know, anal, any type of other sex, but as long as you don't engage in penile penetration in terms of like penis and vagina sex, then you're pure and you're a virgin. But then you can get away with doing everything else. It's quite interesting. Because then it begs the question, then are we then saying, like, for instance, where you have same-sex couples who perhaps haven't had penile vaginal penetration, are we then going to say that they're virgins too? But then in the same vein, we're castigating those people.
I guess I saw the video. I saw it briefly.
Yeah.
I just thought, what again? Why didn't you just keep your mouth shut? Just keep it to yourself.
So what?
I asked myself, what's this girl doing? But I thought, everybody does everything to go viral these days.
Yeah. But she's a preacher, though.
Well, people come out and say they know who this person is.
Yeah.
But putting those two words in a sentence is amazing. Promiscuous and at the same time a virgin. I think what she's done needs quite some time to study. We need to do a research on that.
Yeah.
She's challenged society to think different, and she's spoken a lot about something that is really happening
in a lot of
communities.
Yeah, especially within religious communities.
Hush
Yeah.
So, because I've spoken to women of certain communities, and they've told me similar stuff. So now we're talking. What is sex? Like you definitely asked. What is a virgin being a virgin, and who's a virgin?
Yeah.
How do we define a virgin?
How do you define a virgin?
So if you've gone down a lot of boys as a girl, done a lot of heading as they call it.
Yeah.
Does that make you a virgin? Is that just being promiscuous? But
then I also think
still a virgin because you've not had penile penetration, like you said. Yeah. Have you been fingered before? What they call digital penetration?
The thing is that
been fisted?
I think it's because when you think of sex in terms of like society has basically said that only penile penetration sex is considered as being real sex, and everything else that happens outside of that isn't counted.
Some churches have said in my time in Nigeria,
because for me, in my opinion, I think that if
the taboo, all of that,
if you're doing this for religious reasons, then everything is off.
But okay, let's be very basic. Now, a man like me, I want to marry a girl.
Yeah.
And if I was the type who was looking for a virgin, there's only one part of her body I'll be looking at. It's a vagina.
Really?
And from what I've been taught, or not taught, nobody taught me, from what I've known and learned
how you've
from
been
movies,
socialized,
when you then have sex with a virgin, her hymen will break or whatever, and she will bleed. It will be painful for her. So that would be like triumph for me. Yay! I scored myself a virgin. So if a lady at 29 was becoming my girlfriend, and that happened, I would tell my virgin as society is tagged.
Okay.
What a virgin is. Whether asshole is that wide because she's done a lot of anal, I don't know. Because I'm not going there. You see what I mean? Whether she's been given head before, I've never heard a tongue split the vagina. So I don't know whether she's had a lot of tongues there from dudes. Yeah. So again.
For you, that would be...
Not for me, but that's what I know.
That's what you've been socialized. Of course, that's what society has told us.
So whether a lot of fingers has been there, I don't know.
It's an important conversation to have because it's us questioning what we've been told from a young age. And for me, I think my issue with that video specifically was the fact that I personally, or I'm not going to stop saying this, I have an issue with the way that purity and virginity is shoved down our throats as women. Because especially in religious environments where you're expected
to keep yourself holy
for the man. But then somehow this same indoctrination isn't passed on to the men. And for me, it's like if it's from a religious perspective and it's sanctioned by God, then that expectation should be both ways.
She's outsmarted God now. But
that's the thing for me.
She's been heavily promiscuous, but kept that part of the machine.
You know, someone said that it's almost as if you're trying to gaslight God.
No, she's done it.
And it's crazy because if it's for religious perspective, right? I think I'm sitting there thinking, this isn't something that, in my view, I'm like, yeah, keep this to yourself. Because I don't understand the intent behind the video, but I watched it and I was like, I don't understand this. I'm like, from a religious perspective, I don't understand why there is a celebration of this.
I think the celebration is this. She's achieved that and had fun all along. The church forgot to define the boundaries of what fun is. So for me, what she's done, she's challenged society, and it's worth going back, looking at that video, and probably go read on the comments and see. This is philosophy extraordinary. Trust me, I'm not joking. Philosophy 101. That's what she's done. She's asked society as a woman a very peculiar question. Yeah. She's actually said middle finger both to society. And that aspect, if that's her agenda, I like her so much for that. She's taking her powers for so many millions of women who are under bondage from this sort of rhetoric and thinking and ideology. If
you watch the clip, I don't think that was the agenda. Okay. I think the agenda.
I hope that was her agenda.
No. Yeah, but I don't think that was the agenda. The agenda was that, oh my God, I'm this pure woman and I've saved myself for my husband who's going to be.
But that is sarcasm.
Who I haven't trusted.
No, but that's like
but she was being very, very serious. Like, how do you feel about your wife to be being a virgin?
Or they asked the dude.
That was that kind of like
looking squirmish and all of that.
Yeah. It was like, me myself, I am not a virgin, but I'm so. And I was thinking, oh, come on, this is some BS. Like, come on, why are we having this conversation?
Me myself, I'm not a virgin, but I've scored one. So that means it's triumphed. It's gone to war and came back with the spoils.
But then I was sitting there and I was just like, when I watched the whole video, I was like, what is this? And I'm like, this. But in all honesty, like that conversation and that relationship. It was like, it brought me back, and I'm like, this is what the church has birthed and created in terms of the 21st
Not just the church, it's the whole, it's
religion as a whole.
Religion
but when I say the church, it's because that's
your background.
That's my background. Yes. And like, this is what you have birthed. You have birthed a new generation of Christians whereby the men are allowed to do whatever the heck they want, and the women are so scared about, I have to be pure for my man. I'm not doing this. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, come on. And then on top of it now, they're coming out and it's like it's a celebration.
Don't blame us men, because some of us we kept ourselves as virgins till like 29.
Oh really?
We don't come out to celebrate it. Just because the girls really didn't like us anyway. We tried our best. We really didn't score any girl. But joke aside, she's challenged society, and I really want to see the reaction of the church against this. I don't know if she's trying to push the doctrine.
I don't think that they will react. Why will they not react?
Should.
Do you know why I say they won't react? Because she, the way that she put across the message, it was more of like it was a redemption story.
Why are you saying that? I'm gonna go on Google.
No. It was
and Google what promiscuous means.
It was a redemption story of, I used to do this in the past and I came into Christ.
Oh,
that's honestly how we came across. And when people were questioning her over her past, it was almost like, nah, you people don't understand. This is my redemption story. This is what I did in the past. And now I see the light and I no longer engage in this type of behavior. So it was more of a redemption story.
For her.
Oh,
great, because she's found her man.
Yeah, but I think the reason...
It's like a stripper who used to strip. Have things been penetrated into her, but now they found their man. They stopped all of that. So the Bible said, therefore become a new person. The past is the past. All things shall pass away. Is that not what the Bible says?
Oh, yes,
all things have passed away. She's a new being.
Yeah. And I don't think personally I had an issue with it, but I didn't like the message.
I get what you're saying.
I didn't like the message.
You're concerned about society that's put a woman in a box, restricted her, and allowed the man to roam free.
And that's what I have an issue with.
Okay, let's quickly go to promiscuous. I know we know it, but it says having or involving many sexual partners, not restricted to one sexual partner or few sexual partners. Not restricted to one class, sort of person, indiscriminate, whatever. You're just saying a lot of stuff. Characterized by many transient sexual relations. So relationships.
Yes.
So she would have been in relationships, not just having one of relationships. She would have been in relationships as many sexual partners from her definition of what promiscuous is. So what she never did was have penile penetration.
Yeah.
So she would have done.
I'm assuming,
she would have done.
I don't know.
she would have given head and she would have received head in return. She probably would have been fingered. But if we're looking at the definition of being holy, that's not being holy. If we follow the Bible description of a woman keeping herself holy, she should not have done any of that. That's the definition of virgin that we know, like the Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
Not that I ever agreed that Mary was virgin. I never agreed with that concept, but that's the concept they pushed.
The views of Jude are only held by Jude, disclaimer.
That's true.
I don't want to get into the discussion.
They just don't want the mother of God to be somebody who would look down on like our mothers. Meanwhile, Mary represented all our mothers. That's how I look at that. Mm-hmm. If Mary was real, she was my mother. Why is she super than my mother?
Yeah,
and you're saying, you know what I mean? Jesus didn't even touch on those subjects if he bothered him that much. So that's what I think. But that's the picture down. That if Mary kept herself, you should keep yourself too. You know what I mean? So this lady now, she's played God. She's outsmarted God in society.
But can you really outsmart God?
That's what she's done. You can. Through men. Because if you're a smart God, you're a smart man, you're a smart God that they created, that men created.
Yeah.
Men created is God.
Yeah,
so that's what she's outsmarted them. It's left for them to redefine what a virgin is.
Yes.
I think this is a very interesting subject. And then I would like to sit with her in any capacity to really go through her mind why she came up with that concept and what she thought she was trying to... Because there'll be thousands of comments, I believe.
It went viral. I remember it went viral. Like, there was a whole discussion on my Twitter feed about the video. And I remember like scrolling and reading through it. And I mean, for my initial reaction to when I watched it, I rolled my eyes just because it was all too familiar.
Yeah, but I understand too that a lot of people are saying they know her. She was giving heads left, right, center. She didn't hide it. She didn't hide any of that. She didn't go into
I have no idea.
Anymore.
I mean, so this is I think this is the issue with social media. It's like a curse and a blessing at the same time. I think sometimes people want to share certain stories, but I think that you have to sit down and really, really think whether or not certain things are for the consumption of the public.
I think it's okay. I think it's good. You know why I say it's good?
Why do you think it's good?
Previously, all of this, nothing is new under the face of the earth. Mm-hmm. Every of these things have happened before.
Yeah.
The only thing we didn't have an amplifier on it, which we call social media today.
Yeah.
I really think it's good because previously, a lady in France who was a philosopher would say things to challenge perceptions. Women in Africa would never get hold of whatever she said except through books. That's even when they came to the Western world to read books.
Yeah.
Now, with social media, I put any idea of thoughts there, you
accessible.
Get it straight to your phone. Yeah. And why I like that so much, it makes you think. Yeah. I said this woman has gone into so many women's homes now and challenged perception of what a virgin is. I'm going to say, I was in a friend's house in a party and I was about to leave and some girls came. There were more than 10 of them. Yeah. That was from a community. They wore their niqab and some were jeans underneath.
Yeah.
And we had fantastic conversations. Because when I saw them, I was like, who are these people? Why are they here? I never knew my guys were into dating people from that community. Because I thought they were very strict people.
Yeah.
And my guys was like, no, man. All they do is anal. I'm just be clear. They do anal. And the reason they do it because they're keeping this purified for whoever going to marry them. Because that person will never look at the back. So they're virgins until they get married. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that to me is outsmarting that religion that's put them in a box.
Yeah.
That's, to me, it's plain smart. And they've succeeded.
But for me, I'm like, it's a shame that you have to do that. I think that's what...
And brimstone and hellfire is not raining on them as they promised them.
Yeah.
So that's testing the water and say, come on, I'll get away with this.
Yeah.
It's saying that men put these rules there for their enjoyment. But we are breaking those rules.
Yeah, but...
I'm having so many men I want to have through the back door, but hey, I'm having them. And the man I'm going to marry is just sat there looking like an idiot. Hey, I'm married a virgin. Like that guy was doing on social media. That guy, the only issue I have with that thing is their relationship might not last, except it's a genuine person. Because he will go read all those comments and be like, what about?
Because there was a lot of comments. But
there's been some backlash.
But this is why I say that, and I'm not going to stop saying this, not everything it's for the consumption of social media and for the public.
Yeah, not everything, but maybe she shouldn't have put her face there. But she's bold to put her face there.
Because it was I told you, it's a redemption
she's
story.
Asked us a very
that is her testimony.
Question. Yeah, she's asked us a very interesting.
Yeah. And I did think that it did lead.
Desperate question.
It led to very
and
insightful discussions.
Really sit down, because I've never had this conversation with my daughter who's 16. Like, the need for you to be a virgin till you meet your guy. I've never discussed any of that with my daughter. Like, I've never asked her whether she's had sex. I've never asked whether she's kissed a guy.
Yeah.
That's not me, because I'm not ready to put anyone in a box. Okay. And that's just me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe because, I don't know why, that's just me. Don't know everybody think that way. Yeah? But that doesn't mean if my daughter come with a guy and I won't be boxing that guy. I'll be boxing him for real.
Why?
Yeah, hello, I've spent money on my daughter. You ain't just coming and whisker. You crazy? But that's another story. But what I'm trying to say is, I've never had this discussion with her. I'm not intending to have it with her.
Yeah.
To say, religion wants you to stay holy till you get married. Never. Because if you put them in the box, they're going to try to come out of that box.
Yeah,
and definitely. It will backfire. I'm not about to have that. But what she's done, I don't know how she grew up. But she's outsmarted society. She should have kept her mouth shut like society would expect. But I don't think she should have kept her mouth shut. I just think she should have found other ways to not put her face to it. But she's asked us very interesting questions. It's left for the rest of us to go ponder on what she's asked and say, what is this? Why has society led this woman to question this? If that girl was white, she'll be on BBC now. I'm not joking. They would have invited her to BBC. If she was white, she'll be on ITV. She'll be on Lose Women. They'll be saying, come talk to us how you feel. They will promote her. They will even bring people to do background training and say, you were fighting for women redemption. She will be the face of feminism. But she's black now. Some people will call her a hoe. I call her a philosopher.
No, but I would never. Here's the thing, right? The thing is that I don't have issue with any of the things that she's done. And I wouldn't call her any derogatory term based on that.
People will do that.
Personally, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But for me, I think, and I'm never going to stop saying this, for me, what was like the big issue, and when I watched the video, I was like, come on. For me, it was just too close to home of like, in terms of religion and how constantly
I get it.
Women are expected.
That's very sensitive topic.
But
it comes to this question where boys and girls are in a relationship and you start asking body counts.
Exactly.
Guy, how many girls you don't deal with? And the guy is free to say, man.
I don't know.
No. I've never been able to say I don't know. I didn't start very good with girls. I think the first time I don't want to say it. I've said it before on TV when I first had sex. But I'm not going to say it again. I was well past my 20s before I first had sex because I was broke and dead poor. So girls really didn't look my way.
Fair.
But when I picked up, man, oh boy.
More options?
I didn't stop. So I got more numbers. Yeah. So I think every woman I've been with, I got more numbers than them. So now, genuinely in me, when the women start talking about their numbers, all this promiscuity is coming out like, she gonna do this with the next guy. She gonna do this with the next guy. It comes. It's just human. Well, do I hold them on that? Do I judge them on that? No. If they're not judging me on the numbers I've been with, I should have been judging them on the numbers a bit. But it's a very uncomfortable conversation.
See, I think body count is a conversation that needs to be deaded.
You don't talk about it. What is deaded?
Dead, like it's just not something. Yeah,
I saw that on the plate number yesterday and I asked, and it said just end it. The first time I saw it, DED, and I think it's 1 and T, and they said dead it. Why would somebody? I said that's what it meant. I didn't know what it meant.
Because I just don't.
I found out yesterday. You just used it.
I think it's weird.
I'm of the Freedom Pass generation. You are very TikTok.
Yeah, no.
You're very TikTok.
I sit back and I'm like, I think it's just weird. Why are you?
The bed counts, yeah.
I'm like, why are you interested? If you're with somebody, I don't want to believe that if this person is fantastic and they're great and they tick all your boxes. So what if they've slept with 10, 20, 30?
Girls start that conversation.
That completely switches like your view on them.
It's girls who start those conversations. Start asking, how many have you been with?
Not interested.
If a girl asked me that, I would definitely say.
You would say?
Yeah, I would tell them.
How many girls have you been with?
Yeah, I would tell them. Because for me, I'm not going to lie. For me, even if I was lying with the numbers, for me, it's making me look like a Spartan warrior.
Exactly.
A gladiator. And these people think, boy, Judy's done it. I've never exaggerated, but I would exaggerate and say,
that's me.
You don't want to know, girl. I'm counting numbers. I would say BC, Rabiola, Fantima, this one, that one.
But on the flip side, women are lying and giving a lower number.
Yes.
2, 3.
Great, you've touched on something.
And I'm like, sis, come on.
What it does to me.
But you've had like 5 boyfriends. Okay.
I'm just like, 3. Wow, she's great. Let me tell you what comes to men's mind. When you say I've been with 3, 4 guys, the first thing they think is,
you're lying.
Down there, she's not loose.
Oh.
There's that weird perception about down there. I'm not going to lie. So when she says she's been with 12 and 13 and 14, you look at the age also. If she was 45, you would expect, if she's not married, to have been with relationships, good dudes.
Of course, yeah.
But if she was 25 and she's telling you she's been with 8 dudes, promiscuity is written all over her head. Like this girl who's been giving heads and now she's a virgin. You get what I'm saying? That would trouble a man. Because the man will be like, you're only 25, you've been through it, guys. In his head, you'll be like, this is not one I want to be with because she's going to want to go. And also that fear that this guy you were with, he's not going to ask that question. How were they in bed? And that girl's going to always compare. If you're not the type that goes down on her, she's going to split one day and say, the last dude went down on me while I don't bust. So there's those comparisons. So those conversations, whether you should have them, you shouldn't have them, I don't know. But no, the woman and the man can't sit there and tell me they were comfortable with those conversations. So that dude is going to have issues when he really found out that you've been with 20-year-old guys.
I would hope to think that they would have had that conversation prior to releasing that video. Because I think the thing with social media is that once you open the door for certain discussions, everybody comes out the woodwork. And everybody has an opinion. Yeah, everybody has something to say.
It's good. I like it. You know why I like it? Like I said previously, when you had a philosopher giving his own philosophy about life, you only had privilege when you were in his class to have conversations with him. And if you read his book like 200 years later, you reference him in your essay.
Yeah.
But this one, you having live discussion on what it means. And if she's bored enough, she should go on those comments and reply and respond, like we do on Common Sense.
Yeah.
Like some people writing some awkward conversations.
Very awkward things. Yeah.
Somebody said they're going to change your accent. I'm like, how are you going to do that when this is our accent?
I read that comment and I was like,
I just fell short of.
I didn't understand the correlation personally, but I was like, this is like.
And you're challenging perspectives. That's why I like it, because somebody almost was trying to say that rape or something else.
Yeah.
And it was checked out. And it was, so that's why I like real life.
True.
Although we hold back from so much, we would say, because of the position we hold in society and because of backlash for our family members. But I think it's really good because it puts so many interesting questions out there and you get to see and hear perspectives of different people. Yeah. I've been on so many pages that I don't want to come out of my house the next day because racism is just so much there. You almost just be crying.
Yeah. When
you read some. But it gives me a perspective into people's mind and tells me this problem is still alive and well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's why I like what social media does. There's need for protection, but there's also need for testing the boundaries and pushing it forward.
Okay.
How far do we go?
Yep. So I guess the food for thought now is promiscuous virgin. What do we consider as a virgin in the 21st century?
You go ask her now. She's already asked. She's already put it there. Ask her what she said. But a virgin would have been a woman who's never been touched. Holy Mary, Our Lady of Fatima. That's a typical definition of a virgin. She's never been touched. They're not saying Angel Gabriel should come touch you or no. That's not it. But before Angel Gabriel came, she was never touched by a man. So she's never been known by a man. And it's possible that Mary was very young also. That's why I think Mary was about around 12 or 14. That's what I think. So it's the age. But most people don't understand that. You don't expect. There are some stories where women have been 50 and virgins, never been touched by men for different reasons. But you don't expect a woman or a guy who's 45 to be a virgin in society today. A 12-year-old, a 16, a 18, a 19, you can catch virgins there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying start hunting them. They're not fish for you to hunt, but hey, if you want a virgin, those age, because some of them haven't even had this experience. Up to 25, you can steal. But Mary was quite young during her age, so she wouldn't have known any guy.
Yeah.
That's what my definition is of a virgin.
Okay.
But if you want to know further about promiscuous virgin, I think we should invite that lady to come on this sofa with us so we can have an insight into why she did what she did. She's a philosopher in my understanding, though.
Okay. And that's it on Promiscuous Virgin.
Yeah.